The Bonine House, a legacy of freedom. The James E. Bonine House at Penn Road and M60 has been a landmark in Cass County, Michigan since the earliest years of settlement. The house and the original Gothic Revival carriage house across the highway are two of the best examples of Victorian architecture in the area, and they both have an intimate connection to the Underground Railroad. Quaker and staunch abolitionist James E. Bonine arrived in Cass County in 1843 and married Sarah Ann Bogue in 1844. Construction on their brick farmhouse began soon after. Sarah was the daughter of Underground Railroad stationmaster Stephen Bogue, shown here with his wife Hannah, whose home is just down the street. At one time it was thought that the Bonine House was built after the Civil War because of the Second Empire period tower. However, experts have determined that the original house was a typical 2/2 Greek Revival consisting of 4 rooms, 2 parlors downstairs and 2 bedrooms upstairs. There was probably a portico out front, and the shadow of the Greek frieze can still be seen on the west front wall. The kitchen was likely an outbuilding, again typical of the time. Soon after the Civil War, the home was enlarged and enclosed in the Second Empire style, imported from Paris, popular from 1860 to 1880. This remodel added the home's signature tower with its mansard roof. A dining room, kitchen, and another parlor were added downstairs, and 4 more bedrooms added upstairs to accommodate James E. and Sarah's growing family. The Bonine House will be restored to this Second Empire remodel. Elaborate porches were added to the front and a screen porch on the east side. A smokehouse was east of the home. This photo from the 1960s shows the detail that was exactly copied for the front porch restoration in 2015. Created by James E. Bonine in 1862, 60-acre Bonine Elk Park was adjacent, stocked with elk, buffalo, and deer. This elegant house and farm anchored the estate that was home to the Bonine family for over 100 years. Michigan State Senator G. Elwood Bonine is pictured here at the gate of Bonine Elk Park in the 1940s. His was the last Bonine family to live in the house before it was sold in the mid-1950s. His daughter, Mary Charlotte Bonine Roberts, sent us many of the photographs used here on our website and seen in the house. Part of Bonine Elk Park became one of Michigan's first state parks. There was a turnaround with picnic tables and a bucolic view of elk roaming the grounds. This marker was originally placed there and currently stands in Milo Barnes Park in Vandalia. You will find URSCC brochures and driving tours at this marker. Gerald and Juana Wright purchased the Bonine House in the mid-1950s. Kathy Wright Jones, Terry, and Gary Wright have wonderful memories growing up in the brick house. More Wright family photos can be seen on our website. Many local residents remember this gas station and general store from their childhood. They talk of ice-cold pop and movies shown on the back of the carriage house. After it sold in the late 1970s, the house began a long road to deterioration. Tom Crosland of Rainbow Farm, shown here with Raleigh Rom, purchased the home in 1999 and was restoring it when they were killed in 2001. Tom put in new electric, plumbing, furnace, well, and windows, among other improvements. It's because of Tom Crosland that URSCC can even dream of restoring the Bonine House, and we owe him a debt of gratitude. Sadly, both of these historic and architectural treasures were left to nature's whims and furies for 10 years. The story of the Underground Railroad in Cass County, Michigan is just beginning to be told. Quakers and free blacks who settled primarily in Penn, Calvin, and Porter townships in the mid-1800s are said to have helped over 1,500 fugitive slaves, now called freedom seekers, find their way to freedom in Canada. Because this area was a relatively safe haven, many freedom seekers and free black families remained here and purchased their own farms, becoming prosperous community leaders. Their descendants still remain in the area. While there is little evidence of fugitives being sheltered in the Bonine house, there is a great deal of anecdotal as well as eyewitness evidence that freedom seekers were housed in the carriage house, making James E. and Sarah Bonine station masters on the Underground Railroad. James E. also provided land for Ramptown and was a trial witness in the infamous Kentucky Raid of 1847. Vandalia, Michigan was so important during the Underground Railroad that Henry Clay referred to it in the U.S. Senate as that hotbed of abolitionism. Vandalia Village President Beverly Young says, "Vandalia has a rich history and a unique story that deserves to be told. The Bonine House is one of 19 Underground Railroad sites on a local driving tour. Creating an Underground Railroad cultural and tourist destination will help all of Cass County and the surrounding area." URSCC took a major step on its mission when it purchased the Bonine House and Carriage House in December of 2010. As seen here, the years had taken their toll on the house. The porch was gone, the roof needed replacing, and the tower needed restoration. The restoration of the Bonine House began in the spring of 2011 with the removal of an old garage built in the 1930s. Then diseased and dead trees were removed from the property. The biggest structural hurdle to the restoration was remedied in 2011. The southwest corner foundation had deteriorated to the point of collapse, bowing out the walls and creating a potentially catastrophic failure. URSCC hired Neil Civic structural engineering firm to determine the plausibility of repairing the corner and saving the house. Tom Neal, shown here, said it could be done. Building Restoration Inc. of Kalamazoo took down the southwest corner of the house and dug out the foundation. Then they rebuilt it all, facing it with original brick. The Bonine House will stand for generations. Dale Lehman of Lehman Construction, known for his work on the old Rugged Cross Church in Pokagon, Michigan, was hired as our general manager. Dale and his crew set to work repairing and restoring the roof. When replacing the fish scale shingles, the underside revealed that they were originally the green color that you see today. The tower roof is a proud symbol of the Bonine House and a beautiful indication of future restoration efforts. A generous donation from Mary Ann Bonine of Galesburg, Michigan, allowed us to re-roof the entire house in late fall of 2012, creating a snug environment inside. Joe Evans of Cassopolis is a master in the art of plastering. He spent 2 months repairing the ceilings and walls of the Bonine House, restoring huge areas of destruction from water damage. Joe's signature calling card can be seen at the foot of the tower stairs. This beautiful stenciling on the living room ceiling from the 1870s remodel was uncovered during a plaster repair. We plan to restore it to its former glory. Dale Lehman and his crew restored the iconic front porches in 2015. The wooden porches were copied from original photos. Thousands of pieces were cut and assembled on site to beautiful effect. The north wall of the Bonine House was in critical need of repair. The outer layer of brick was detaching from the inner layer. Quality masonry took down the outer layer, and installed a new anchoring system, working throughout the winter. The Bonine house is now structurally sound. Here we see the Bonine house when first purchased in December of 2010, as it looked in the spring of 2014, and when the porches were finished in the fall of 2015. We're very proud to say that we've come a long way. Bullseye Construction of Vandalia was hired as general manager for the project. The first step was to install cribbing at the southwest corner and install new beams. Quality Masonry of Vandalia was hired to rebuild the foundation, fieldstone inside, cobblestone outside. When restored, visitors will be able to experience a genuine Underground Railroad station. Restoration of the carriage house resumed in January 2017. Bullseye Construction used Amish and Mennonite crews to replace exterior beams on the south and east sides. A 4-foot trench was dug and a concrete block foundation installed, stabilizing the building. Barn doors and restoration of the cobblestone fieldstone foundation will be completed in 2017. Angling Elementary of Portage, Michigan staged the first Cass County Underground Railroad Wax Museum in May of 2012. Stacy Bonine's 4th grade students researched and portrayed local, state, and national Underground Railroad characters who came to life to tell their story. Cassopolis Sam Adams Elementary staged their version of the Underground Railroad Wax Museum in April of 2013. With many of the students portraying 4th and 5th generation ancestors. URSCC and the Village of Vandalia celebrate the history of the Underground Railroad in this area with Underground Railroad Days, the second weekend in July. Tours, presentations, information booths, period entertainment, and much, much more have made this unique festival a draw for the entire region. Christmas at the Bonine House is a delightful event, with the house beautifully decorated for the season by URSCC members. The Wax Museum, Christmas at the Bonine House, and Underground Railroad Days are annual events. Photo galleries and videos can be seen on our website. The Bonine House made its debut during 2011 Underground Railroad Days. Thousands have toured the house as part of the celebration, as well as at other times during the year. The house is open June through September, with docents available to act as tour guides. URSCC intends to use the first floor of the Bonine House for community meetings, events, and gatherings. The house and grounds will be lovely venues for weddings, family reunions, concerts, and many other events. The upstairs bedrooms will tell the story of the Underground Railroad and the significant role Quakers, free blacks, freedom seekers, and other abolitionists played in the Underground Railroad and in this community. All the families who have lived in the Bonine House will be featured in the family room. The carriage house will be a period museum, allowing visitors to experience an Underground Railroad station. The buildings in front will be moved to other places on the property. We hope to restore the gas station general store to use as our tourist information center. Our website is invaluable in telling the story of URSCC and the Underground Railroad in Cass County. You can take a video tour of the Bonine House, as well as download a self-guided driving tour of 14 local Underground Railroad sites. You'll learn about the Kentucky Raid and how it helped precipitate the Civil War. You'll meet Lucky the Bonine House Lion, learn about Quaker and African American roles in the Underground Railroad, links to other resources, and much, much more. Thank you very much for your interest and your support. Tax-deductible donations can be made to URSCC and sent to P.O. Box 124, Vandalia, 49095, or you can donate online at urscc.org. Thank you.